Hello, welcome back to Satisfactory. I am Maker Gaming, and we are back in our playthrough. We are back on an Avatar episode. I'm excited. We had to do a whole lot of prep to get to this point. But yeah, we're getting there with a lot of this stuff, so I feel like we can finally move to it. So, we need to get our iron starter. We need to get our iron smelter going. Um, so yeah, today we're going to get an iron smelter going. That's mostly just going to involve, I'm thinking, one blueprint. We might do a concrete blueprint, but as of right now, the only thing I'm committing to is the one blueprint for the iron smelter. So why do I say we're doing the avatar build today? Because today we are working on our Earth Fortress, which is this building here. What is it? General Fong's Earth Fortress? And I'm going to throw up a couple pictures. These are our reference photos here. These are kind of what we want our iron smelters to look like. So let's clear out one of these designers, and we need to figure out that blueprint. I regret that this ring, I believe, is only 4 meters wide, 4 foundations. 1, 2, 3, 4 foundations. Yeah, that does not give us much wiggle room. Because a lot of these builds are lengthwise. Did I say thanks for watching? If I didn't say thanks for watching, thanks for watching. So 3 minimum, which is kind of what we need for 2 smelters. I'm thinking 2 smelters for building. We'll talk about numbers in a little while. So 3, even if we nudge it, it's still going to be pretty tight. Which, it's pretty tight in the reference, so that's okay. So, I mean, we wouldn't really have much wiggle room on the length. I really wouldn't want less room than that. And I have thoughts of some of these designs on the outside are going to involve things like, at first glance, walls and pillars. So yeah, like I probably wouldn't want to, I'd probably be comfortable with about that much overhang, but not much else, or else we're not going to have any walking room here. We are going to put some sort of rail up, rather if it's this kind or something else that we design ourselves using beams and barriers. We just don't want it to feel too tight between these areas because we're going to have them like 1, 2, 3 kind of shape. So yeah, let's get going on that. Probably going to utilize underfloor. Sorry, I should think about everything I want to talk about. We're definitely going to utilize underfloor belting. So really all we need up here is 2 smelters, 2 inputs, 2 outputs, and we might do kind of a goofy layout, but we'll look at that in a second. So we're going to get everything from underneath. So all of these have been transformed since the last time I showed off this build, where all 4 corners of this build now have this underneath. So what is this? A 3 by 5? 5 meters tall, 3 foundation wide, quarter circle. So this is where we're going to hide all of our inputs and outputs, so that up here we can stay with the avatar build. Now we'll get to building. Oh, I'm excited too. This is the first time I'm going to be utilizing something from MutedArtistPlayer, the best beam artist in the game. Check out his Twitch. He also has some highlights of some of his just insane builds on YouTube. I'll link something for him in my description. You should really check him out. But yeah, I was watching him build one of his builds, kind of inspired, like similar inspiration to this one. And he showed me a trick on the roof that we're going to utilize. I was pretty happy with that roof that I came up with for here, but he just made it a couple steps even better. Actual tiled roofs. So let's think size. For size, I'm thinking 3 meters by 1.5 meters. Keep that part on the inside. So what I'm thinking, because it both slopes up, I think kind of a cool way to do it would be not lined up the way we'd normally line things up. And what do I mean by that? We got a real tall end, right? So if we do it like that, like we always do, and then splitters and mergers on each end, then we have to worry about how tall that is on the outside when these are all sloped roofs. So what I'm thinking is, can we make them both inward? I mean, really, that's the question. Let's see what we have. So we have 3 meters, 3 foundations. This is fun, actually. I didn't even think about this. We can merge their inputs, right? So we'll merge them into a downward lift. Middle would be 1, 2, 1, 2. There. Okay, so can we fit 2 smelters and their inputs in this shape? I do not care about inside clipping for these projects. I somewhat care about clipping sometimes, but for these projects that are like the avatar builds, these are purely for aesthetics. These are going to be fail-proof setups and assemblies that, see, that's kind of perfect when we're looking at the roof, right? Because we have a slope this way and we have a slope this way. So that really is our best, and actually we can't fit it, huh? Like I said about clipping now, that's where we were. That's where we could go. Or even a half, but yeah, let's go all the way. And does that... Okay, so that does attach. I love Nudge. Man, what an addition to this game. You spoil us. That's kind of a dope look, period. Now, thankfully, lifts have some fun geometry with them when you're trying to get them in tight spots. So this might actually work. Yep, that's snapping, isn't it? Sounds like it's snapping. I mean, we couldn't do it half a meter in, I'm assuming. That was too much to ask for. But still, this should be fine because the walls are going to come off a little, right? You know, I don't know if 3 by 1.5 is wide enough. We'll know better when we go vertical. Let's just keep moving. So I think we kind of need a base. Which actually isn't all that bad. Can we go... They're kind of raised up on these stone platforms, right? So yeah, that's going to stick out a little bit. Let's keep thinking. Crazy that all fits in a half of a foundation. On the bottom, at least. I think we should go wider. I'm a pain in the ass, I know. I feel like if we just go out like 1 more meter, I know I said I don't want to give anything, but I feel like if we just went out 1 more meter, we could cover up all that lift stuff inside the foundation. And I feel like we gotta do that. So, 1 more time, let me reset this. At least we're in the daytime now. Alright, so I'm literally just going to do that, add the 1 meter, and see if we can get everything inside the marks. Give me a second. Alright, I brought everything in ½ meter. I broke my own rule. We are doing that. That's just too much better. Alright, so let me throw up this one. I feel like this is our very best reference photo of everything I have. So I kind of started to see if I could match it here with some pillars. And some 1 meter walls. I think it's looking close, and then a little gold trim, and then a little bit of see-through into the inside. And I think I'm good with that. So now I just got to recreate it on the sides, and I also have to figure out what I'm going to do here for... Well, let's copy this so we can get this through. As you can see, this is actually 2 down. That's because I thought 6 would be a good height, because 5 is a good height for the walls. In terms of just comparing it proportion-wise, how long versus how tall these walls are. Thinking 5's good, this 6 will get covered up in the roof. So yeah, let's get those over here too. That gets us 2 down, then we're going to the corner. And we're nudging it half that way, full that way. Same here. Half, half, whole. Also of note, I put these road barriers on the other side of this merger just so if I'm peeking in, I for sure won't forget which side has the merger. How big is that going to be? It's right there. So, I mean, that tells us where our... oh, we also have to go back a little, right? So, H, half meter to get in line with that. Kind of make a fake stair, even if it's not actually going to work. Just kind of see what I can do here. And will that cover up the gap? Kinda badly. I mean, that's not awful. Do we want to do stairs that way too? That looks pretty dope, actually. We're gonna set that 1 meter down. Can we get this to come out a little? Does that look better coming out like that? It might. Yeah, it does. I don't know if we can walk up that, but that is exactly what I was looking to do. So, we're keeping it. That's our perfect fit, I think, as long as this... Alright, I think that gives us our depth though, right? And if we were to go there, will that poke through? Damn it, it does. Basic walls. H. 1 meter in. I made this green to the best of my ability. It's fine. Fine-ish, I believe. I think this is too wide. Could we do it here-ish? I think that's what we're looking for. If I didn't explain, we're gonna set these into the ground 1 meter. So this is gonna be inset into these. So that will sink in halfway into the ground. And I think that's the look I want. We want gold trim. Now this makes more sense. Still think we go maybe 1 over. I'm gonna keep doing this at night and not talking, so I'll be back when it's day and I have some progress, because this is all repetitive now, I think. This is not as elegant as I wanted. Might look it up there though. Hell, that might be under the roof. But let's just leave it here as a reminder of something we could improve if we decide we like it. Alright, we'll call that version 2 before... Now it's time for the roof, am I right? So let's start thinking of a profile. This low or 1 lower? This low, I think. Would that be big enough? No, it would not. Let's start with 3. Ooh, is that right to the edge? Got half a meter. That's scary. We repeat this everywhere. I've only done this once, and it was not this complicated, so hopefully this turns out alright. Mostly just trying to draw out the border we want. An H, half meter. Alright, so we got a flat roof. That I would say goes a little into the border of the pillars. So, I mean, do we want to just say there? I mean, that might be by far the most we want to do. Even that's... I don't think that's shallow enough. In which case, the gold blocks probably have to go. We're not on a straight edge here. So H, let's see if we go half a meter over and do that, but we don't want to go that high anymore. Something like that. If we did that, would it get us a straight path? Even that I can't tell. That looks pretty straight, right? Yep, that's straight, and that looks like it's probably flat enough. Yeah, I think that's our best bet. We just get inside here. Alright, I think we have a plan here now too. Let me time-lapse this. What a bummer. This is way too... it's too far out. Well, it's such a low roof, but I guess we'll take it. That's a pretty good slope. That's a pretty good size, and I like these little bumps. So I'm keeping them. Alright, I think we're where we went. Alright, I think we're where we want to be for this first half of this roof, at least the shape. So let me go off camera and fill that one around, and I'll come back for the next step. Alright, so this whole section right here, my kids were just fighting in the background of the room the whole time. So I'm just going to time-lapse it. It's really just me doing guess and check. See what looks good. Good-ish. So yeah, be right back. Of course, I always press record at night. So I don't know if we're gonna do Muted's thing all the way exactly right now. I do love that I can parachute up this roof. You know, let's fill this in. Couple issues. Those white pillars sticking out. Those would be solved if I do the Muted thing, but I think it's just gonna take too long. And the more I look at like the reference shots, I don't think 3 of those. I just don't know if it's going to fit well. I think we might need to do a smaller one. So I'm thinking, let's see, where's the front of this place? So that's the front. So back here, this half circle, I think we're going to do, like the reference, 2 that are looking in on each of those sides, and then the 3 long ways on the ends of each of the circle, half circle. I'm thinking for these, we do the ones that are facing inward, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I'm also thinking we overclock these to 200%, so we're getting 60 a minute from each, so we're getting 120 per building. And that'll get us our 480 that we need for the one belt, which is all we're going for right now. So we'll probably wait to do Muted's method on the smaller ones that'll be the 3 vertical. But let's at least show it off, because I do have one trick I want to try. If this works, then I might take the time to do it, but I don't know if it's going to work. So we'll call it the done one, right? So now all that is in the blueprint, including this ladder, which I didn't think about. Okay, so Muted's idea is this way to make tiled roofs. The old H. I don't even know it exactly. I've been trying to get it exactly because mine haven't looked as good as his. But anyways, H, forward 1, click R, freeform, up 1, turn 3. Now we got to get to that same spot, which I believe is there. Go up. 1, 2, 3. That's higher than expected. Well, let's just keep going, see how it works. Alright, that for sure didn't work. Maybe it's half meters? We'll try again in a minute. But yeah, that is not right. That's so bad. So we're definitely not going to do it this iteration. Sorry to get the hopes up. But was it a half meter? We'll at least try that. A half meter nudge instead of the full. I'm not smart enough to make this work. Yep. I'm not as good as him, obviously. We're going to quit there. That'll be our final product till I investigate that a little more. What I like is that we actually will have a functional door that we can come in and hook everything up. So I'll wait for daylight and place the first few. We actually have more room than that. That's good. That's good. So we want a straight path, so we go zoop it out. See if they fit. We'll center it. I think I like it. Let's make them both, then we'll fix them. What am I missing? Be right back. Yeah, that thing's huge. Alright, they are what they are. Now we're just going to fill in everything back and color it right. Be right back. I do like how the stairs turned out, even if they don't work all the way. The edges are annoying without doing the stuff I was planning on doing, but we're good. Let's get some crazy clipping going. Oh, I forgot to overclock them. That looks pretty clean. Well, so far. Continue with what? These would be inputs. Mark 1, probably. We're gonna go up to 60, right? Alright, we should pick a direction. Inputs one direction, outputs the other. Output's gonna be on this side, I think. So we'll go inputs outwards. Alright, let's just finish that one off. One more to go. Blocking the door entirely. 60 a minute, we're gonna get 120 a minute coming out. And we're gonna come out this way. Rinse and repeat. Alright, considering these are gonna be here. Here and where? They're going to be there and there, right? So we'll do the input from that side, which is what, the east? What is that going to mean for bringing it in? I could make that work. We could bring them all down this line. Alright, so we're going to go splitter on the ends, coming from this side. Now merger, same thing, but we want it to go out, I believe this way. Ultimate location's there. We could just wrap all the way around and out. Oh, here was practice. A lot of good that did us. It's kind of cool, just all the way down the path. I mean, it's not straight, but we could fix that if we want. But then we'll probably just go down underneath, track it over to the start. We are almost done with that, with the first 480 of iron. It's exciting. Alright, give me a minute. I'm going to do the exact same thing on that side with 2 more of these. Exact same. And then I'll come back when the bottom stuff's done too. Woohoo! Alright, I went ahead and I think I skipped ahead a little bit. Set this bad boy up. This is just going to be our output. Make sure we're getting our 480 our full 480 iron ingots. Let me get over there and we'll start it up. Funny thing about this build is, you know, I thought I was going to be importing iron nodes from just all over the desert, but considering we're only doing the bigger version of the building right now, we're only putting 4 of them out, and since that's the case, we only need 480, so we only need 1 belt, which is funny. We'll get more later, but right now we're just trying to get the starter base filled out and logistically figured out, right? So where's our incoming? Yeah, so our inputs are all coming this way, our outputs are going that way. Outputs are going that, and then below, inputs are going here and then below. I guess I'll show off my trash floor. Ta-da! So here's our 2 supplies. So we need that full 480 belt of iron, and that's just coming from right over here. In the same way, this is going underneath on the other side for the iron ingots coming out. So yeah, we just have a single one right here, overclocked, single pure Mark II, 480. It's funny. Didn't I put a hypertube over here? Also, just while working, I kind of cleaned up a lot of this. Took out a lot of the extra awesome sink and other stuff that was there. Just, that's the goal of all this, is to clean up this whole area. We're getting there. We'll leave random sculpture things like that sphere. Put this in too, because like I said, I filled in a lot of this stuff over here, all the little holes and everything. Just takes us through the underbelly. Anything new here? So all we have to do now is just power it all. And it should immediately work. We'll get better track and actual numbers of this, but just to remind us what power that is. Moment of truth. That should get us going. Sorry if that drives everyone crazy, the wires. We're in the underbelly. Things happen down here. For the nice vistas upstairs. Alright, let's see if our power's good. Totally for the first time, not for the third time. I totally know how to connect power. I'm getting impatient though about these. It has been 3 times. I was lying. Thank goodness. I was freaking out. Man, I made everything just high enough to where I can't jump it. It's annoying. Looking for lights. Overclocking. Oh yeah, how's the smoke looking? Do we see any smoke? Just in the back? That's subtle enough. Don't need to have a chimney or anything. That shouldn't be green though. That should be white. That's why we check things. Alright. I think we did it, guys. If so, thank you very much. This is not the right line. This would be the right line. Does that look full? Not yet. It's getting there though. Excuse my graphics card. It's a good view to end on, I think. Our fastest, fullest line so far. Starter base coming. Thanks for watching.